Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Thursday, September 29th, 2022, 2:11 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. Sorry I didn't get on earlier today, but I'm here now. Let me just make sure everything is working. Okay, sound's working, camera's working, all the right stuff is shared. All right, we're good to go. Let's rock through the world and see what's going on. Markets are interesting today. So, BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. I'll mention blockchain education. Check them out right here. They're on the site. Click on that affiliate link. You might enjoy joining the team. Also, something cool that I'm working with right now is Mindsley. Check them out. Interesting stuff. Okay, let's get started. Looking at FinViz right now. Weird situation. I'm going to refresh this. Market opened immediately, kind of dumping, made a little bit of recovery, kind of dumped again. Anyway, definitely not an illustrious day for the market. S&P 500 down 2.11%. That's kind of a big dump for the S&P 500. I think it was, we had a 4% dump a couple days ago. NASDAQ down 2.84%, Dow down 1.54%. These are big numbers for these indexes, you know. S&P 500, that is a pretty good sized, potty right there. And looking at the S&P 500, that's pretty darn rough. Apple down like 4.91%. Of course, I think part of that is because of the security exploit that happened. Amazon 2.7, Tesla down 6.81 today. Wow, these are scary numbers. So with that said, boom, all sectors down for the most part. Energy, some green there. Not surprising with current geopolitical issues. Financial services, whatever. Oh, Visa did fine because everybody's burning credit cards to survive right now. Anyway, S&P 500 devastated today, So with that said, here's the funny thing today that really gets me is, and we're going to look at some news real quick. We're going to get through this and out of here real fast, okay? But I'll look at this first. This is rather astounding. So if we look at the DXY, Dollar Strength Index, it's right here in the middle, okay? It's been rocking up this channel very, very beautifully, very, very predictably. It was pumping, crushing the markets, and now yesterday it dumped, got back in the upwards channel that it has, got back in the upwards channel, returned to the upwards channel that it had broken above, and now today it had a crappy day too. So very interesting. Dollar Strength Index pumping like crazy. It broke through the glass ceiling of the channel that it was in, but of course it has begun to crash down hardcore. I don't think that's the plan. So interesting. But the thing is, though, with the DXY dumping today, you'd expect, like over here, you'd expect the SPX, the S&P 500, to have a green day. You would expect, well, maybe Bitcoin to also, but it didn't really. Oil, indecisive doji today. Let me see. Yeah, an indecisive doji today for oil. Tech 100, they had a red day. Gold, really indecisive candle with some wicks. It did close green. And of course, you've got the silver, red doji. But anyway, just really gold and silver didn't really go anywhere. S&P 500 dumped. You'd expect those to have made some gains, including Bitcoin, with SPX. With the Dollar Strength Index dumping again today. It's what happened yesterday. And people thought, okay, we're going to see some DXY crashing, and we're going to see some positive moves in the market. But today, DXY continued crashing. Everybody's like, yes. And of course, well, the world just went. It just didn't happen. We didn't get much love out of that. So, let me go over here. Yeah, crash just won't stop. But today something changed. So anyway, we did have this. It mentions here on Zero Hedge after yesterday's euphoric BOE inspired short squeeze melt up. Today was supposed to be a continuation rally, courtesy of one of the most oversold markets in history. It does mention here, as a result. Basically, the idea was. Let me find that one line here. Okay, it's here somewhere. Basically, the idea was that even people who were somewhat pessimistic figured that this was going to give us a bit of, a couple days, 2 to 3 days of some love, some green in the markets. Yeah, Even some of the biggest pessimists expected this bear market rally to last 2 or 3 days at least. They were promptly disappointed as stocks tumbled all day, dropping to new 2022 lows. As you can see, BOE, which is Bank of England. If you didn't know that, don't feel bad. I did not know that. I had to look it up. Bank of England pump. So, saved by the BOE. Woo! Then, of course, not fast. Potty. And so that's the whole idea. And somewhere here in this article, as I was reading through it, it did mention, just kind of funny, that it dumped their the red speech. That would be, for poor little Brandon will forever be known as, by that picture, the red speech. It was pretty creepy, though, let's face it. Anyway, so it was noticed, definitely, that the DXY dumped today, and we were expecting more up from that, and it just did not happen. So that's just weird, okay? For me personally, it's just weird. It doesn't make sense. It's not what we usually see. Over here at Bloomberg, Bank of England inspired rally fades as focus reverts to inflation risks. So basically, B of Bank of England, as far as I can tell, is doing like quantitative easing. They're buying lots of junk bonds. They're pretty much doing what we do. Their structure is a little bit different. But anyway, there was an immediate pump, but it just didn't last. Also, of course, to realize that the what is it, British pound sterling is often hover just below like 2. If we do like British pound sterling compared to dollar, you can see where it's usually like $1.50 recently, like 1.5, 1.6, like basically 1.5 to 2 to 1 against the dollar. So it's been strong. Most people figure it's 1.5 to $1, 2 to $1, but there's some speculation I was seeing in this article here that it could even be less than $1, like less than 1 to 1 to the dollar, especially with America who's cranking the Fed, basically cranking those interest rates and pumping the dollar so hard. Ultimately, that does begin to crush your allies' currencies against the dollar. So probably good so that the rally did something but disappeared anyway. So I won't belabor it. But if you ever wanted to listen to this, if you go to Bloomberg and you can't see because you're not a member, if it has the listen to article, you can click on that and you can still hear it even though you can't see it. And that's how I listen to a lot of my Bloomberg stuff because I don't want to join Bloomberg. But anyway, weird today. Sorry, I'm belaboring it, but DXY crashed. Many were expecting, along with the Bank of England, basically doing hardcore QE to save the British pound sterling against the dollar, especially, I think. It just all went potty, and there's something weird going on. So DXY dumps, and then of course so does the S&P 500 in the stock market. Today should have been like yesterday, but it was not. Something changed. So like they say, the crash just won't stop. But today something changed. Yeah, something changed. If you know what it is, then let me know because I don't exactly understand traditional markets super, super well. Okay, so, or I'd actually honestly say at all. So doing my best here. So FinViz, as you can see, red day in the S&P 500, not so great. Gold and silver did not really make a move. The DXY dumped. S&P 500 dumped. It should have pumped. As you can see, yesterday the dollar strength index dumped and the S&P pumped. And you can see also where gold pumped and so did silver pump. But today, dollar strength index dumped and so did S&P 500 and the big indexes and the stock market in general. And commodities like gold and silver did not go anywhere. So this is really, really, really weird. Tech 100 dumped. Yesterday it did pump. So, and of course, gold and the U.S. oil spot just kind of went nowhere. So something's weird. So gird your loins. Something weird happened. Okay. Looking at Bitcoin trading volume explicitly, 9.3 billion. That's not bad trading volume for Bitcoin at all. Most of that on Binance, of course. Do note this, looking at the big exchanges, 24-hour volume is trending down. It's all in the red, as you can see. So basically, volume is in the negative. We're losing volume. We're not getting more volume. We're getting less volume over the last 24 hours, as you can see, because it's in the red. So just think of red as negative. So negative 14% for Binance volume last 24 hours. So we were green, but now we are red. So beware, because in general, when the volume is declining on the big exchanges. Usually that tends to, from what I have seen, lend towards dumpage more than pumpage. Okay, longs versus shorts, basically derivatives, 56 billion. You want to be at least at 50 to have any kind of a day whatsoever. So that's not too thrilling. Looking at the top 100, we can see Bitcoin's coming in at 19,482. Looking at the top 100 here, XDC network. XDC is just barely in the green, 4% up. That's nice to see. Zcash is just slightly green. Pancake Swap slightly green. Let's see, XRP up 9.8%. That's pretty bad. So we'll look at that. So XRP dominating, probably based on the positive court rulings that it has gotten recently. So XRP, the big winner today. Looking at longs versus shorts sentiment, 59% long, 40% short for Bitcoin on Binance. For Ethereum on Binance, 59% long, 40% short. So a long bias, but not really a super optimistic, perky one, okay? Now, looking at a 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, we kind of had a bit of a pump yesterday, got above that 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. That's wonderful. Basically, that would have been from the market doing so well, or actually, you could say the DXY dumping. But anyway, we have not held it. We're below the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. We have had some nice volume come in. But in general, this chart is not too happy looking on the 4-hour. So Bitcoin's not rocking on the 4-hour chart at all. Looking at the 45-minute chart, one thing is that it is barely holding above that 200 moving average. I kind of like seeing that. We've had some nice volume come in. There's definitely some volatility going on, but in general, it's going to be a struggle to keep that 200 moving average. For the most part, I'm kind of expecting more dump action, most likely, than pump action for Bitcoin. The chart just sucks ass. It's not great. Wish I could blow smoke up its ass, but I just can't. So anyway, Bitcoin chart looking weak. All right. Now, a lot of these alts that we're going to look at here, they come from this week's call over at Blockchain Education, where we kind of get a dump of coins that are doing very, 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 very well. And usually, like, there's about 50. These are just a couple of those. So, you get a little bit of insider information here. We'll rock through these real quick. Looking at 4-hour charts. If the 4-hour chart looks good, we'll look at a 45-minute chart, maybe a daily, and see where things are going. But in general, Pond, USDT, and also these are just ones that I'm looking at too. So Pond, USDT, looking potty. HNT, USDT, I like this one. HNT, USDT. This one broke above the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. I like that. Got some serious momentum going here. Retracing a bit, that's understandable. 4-hour chart, not looking that bad. Let's look at a 45-minute chart. 45-minute chart. All right, 45-minute chart. Yep. It pumped, came down. Where is it actually moving from? Let's look at a fib retracement. Let's just go right to about, let's go here. I'm going to go here. Boom, and do it into the fib retracement. Yeah, if you look at it, we kind of wick down to the 618 moving average. So that's a reasonable spot to do it. I like to see the squeeze indicator get back in the red here on the 45-minute chart, and the ADX right here get to around like 20 or 25. So still, it needs a little, at least the binary candles are green. KRI's looking up. Stochastic RSI is looking up. This one definitely could continue. Let's look at the daily chart. Daily chart, of course, is below the 200 moving average, so it's not very positive. A 4-hour chart is above the 200 moving average, just kind of barely though. And if we drill down to the 45-minute chart, yeah, in general, I'm liking what I'm seeing. It does seem that it's got some velocity here. I love the purple candles. That's candles by Sam over at Bitcoin Daily View. You can find that indicator. Just search for Sam. It's on TradingView. So anyway, we're getting some more velocity here. This one definitely could be a continuation. So HNT versus USDT, one to consider. ENS, beautiful 200 moving average bounce again. A little while ago, it dumped with the volatility. It's moving back up. Directional index is in the green. ADX is rising. I'd wait until I saw the squeeze indicator beginning to move up a little bit on this one on the 45-minute chart. How's the 4-hour chart looking? Yeah, above the 200 moving average. This one has a lot going for it. So ENS versus USDT. Definitely one to keep an eye on. SNX versus USDT. Go to 4-hour chart. Below the 200 moving average. Not even going to bother. 4-hour chart for Kava. Below the 200 moving average. Let's just disregard it. QNT. above the 200 moving average for the 4-hour chart, very powerfully, doing a little bit of a retrace action here. If I was to fire up a little bit of a fib sequence here, let's just go like that. Not doing anything that really makes a lot of sense. Anyway, let's look at a 45-minute chart here. Sorry about that. Why is it so? Oh, it's on Bittrex. Okay, yeah. Bittrex always kind of charts crappy. You know, you can explore QNT versus BTC at your own risk. Yeah, let's see what happens. ADX is going down. Directional index is starting to go down. So is the squeeze indicator. I'm gonna give this one some time. I don't know how far that's going to come down before it turns around. QLC versus BTC. Are you finding some like this? I like that the squeeze indicator is about to turn green again. Is it green? Getting ready to. Blue binary candles. Got side about ready to turn back up. On the 4-hour chart, it's above the 200 moving average. I like that. How about the 45? It's a 4-hour chart. 45-minute chart below the 200 moving average. I definitely, for QLC versus BTC, I would wait for a break above the 45-minute 200 moving average and a break above the 314 moving average and see where it's at, and then see how your indicators look. If you got a positive squeeze going, and if the ADX is back, if the directional index is back in the green, the ADX is still looking good. It's one little too squirrely for me right now to really get into. SNT. So SNT, BTC, 4-hour chart is trying to break that 200 moving average. You know, unless it does here on the 4-hour chart, break that 200 moving average and get green Madrid ribbons. I would just leave it, but it looks like it might go that way. S&T BTC is worth putting like an alert in if it breaks that 200 moving average. Might be back in the game. Alpine versus USDT. 4-hour chart, it's getting rejected by that 200 moving average. Indicators don't look too bad. I'll watch that one for a 200 moving average cross in the 4-hour chart, then I'll take it more seriously. AGIX versus BTC. Bouncing, it did not, 4-hour chart did not bounce off the 200 moving average, went off the 314, and not too sexy. XRP BTC pumping just recently too. So had a beautiful run up. Where did it actually bounce if we were to do a fib sequence? Yep, .50 bounce on the fib, absolutely perfect. Like that's wonderful. Directional X is in the green. ADX is poking up. The squeeze indicator is beginning to show some positivity here. KRI is looking good. So this one probably could continue. XRP versus BTC on the 4-hour chart. Let's actually, for fun, look at XRP versus USDT. It's on Binance and KuCoin. I'm looking on KuCoin. Okay, boom, that's wonderful. Chart's basically the same. It's looking good. That's pretty hefty there. It's kind of a pretty strong pump. It's gotten far from the 8 moving average, as we can see the red moving average right here. That's a bit, I'm going to wait for this little guy to retrace a little bit on the 4-hour chart, but actually let's go to the 45-minute chart here. Okay, beautiful, nice burst. 45-minute chart. I'm kind of expecting, that's a nice, beautiful, strong uptrend. I like it. Let's see if this guy slows down and comes down and retraces and moves back up and keeps positive indicators. The squeeze indicator is starting to show positive. We got blue candles on the directional, on the binary candles are blue. This is kind of a pump. This is a bit of a pump. I mean, be careful about buying these. Let's look at a 15-minute chart on that. Beautiful, straight up. So anyway, I'm just going to watch this one. I don't like chasing things like that. I would love to get in XRP, especially if it's going to be in a confirmed uptrend here. But on the 45-minute chart, I'm going to wait and see if this thing chills and retraces a bit. It's looking good right now, but I don't like buying things that are quite so pumpy. I'm just going to give it a minute to probably return to the moving A. The moving A is down here at 44868, and it's way up here at 49337. So I'm going to wait for a retrace and see if we get support above that 200 moving average and continue moving up. Indicators look good. This is definitely one that I might hop into. XRP versus USDT or XRP versus BTC, both looking pretty hot right now. Go back to the 4-hour chart. IOTA BTC is looking fine. I don't want to make this video take too long. In general, looks like it's getting ready to relax a bit, so I'm not going to get into that one. Data, I like this one here. Data versus BTC, beautiful channel. Visit at the bottom. That bottom seems to be valid. I'm going to wait for the ADX to start turning up again. Directional index is in the green. Wait for the squeeze indicator to start to move positive. Binary candles looking good. KRI is looking good. I'm not quite ready. I mean, if I wanted to really be a little bit, crazy brave and funny tough, I guess I would, because these bursty candles you get here, these wicks, maybe I will make a position in this one here, because the thing is, if you can get a little bit of an uptrend, and if you have a trailing take profit and you can catch one of these wicks, that's just wonderful. So data versus BTC, definitely maybe worth, well, for me, putting some money in. I'm just telling you what I might do, not financial advice. ENS, I think we already looked at ENS, right? Yeah, we did. This one can get next. BNB BTC. I like this one. BNB BTC has been strong for a while. How's a daily chart, BNB versus BTC? Yeah, daily's above the 200 moving average. That's really wonderful. Not many things are. How about BNB versus USDT? How's that look? It's below the 200 moving average on the daily for USD. So really, BNB versus BTC, can play that on Binance, FTX, KuCoin. I'll look on KuCoin here. So getting this beautiful uptrend. I like what I'm seeing. You got like a higher high, got a higher high, got a higher high. It's looking wonderful. I'm sorry, higher low, higher low, higher low. Then you have a higher high, higher high, higher high. This is really beautiful. Directional X is in the green. ADX is kind of a little bit dumpy right now. Squeeze indicators in the green. Binary candles looking good. This one, really, I have no reason to suspect that BNB versus BTC may not continue. Let me do a parallel channel here. Boom. That's just glorious. I like it. It's not pushed on top of the RSI cave. It's not pushing too hard. This is a daily chart, so it would not surprise me if this beautiful coin just keeps on cruising on the daily. Looking at a 4-hour chart, we'll keep that channel, see how that looks. 4-hour chart is holding above the 200 moving average. It kind of went below it, but a little while, but it is above it once again. So I like that 4-hour chart looking pretty darn strong. Just watch out. How's that look there? Yeah, a little bit of red there on the squeeze indicator, but in general, the directional index looks good. ADX is starting to trend up. Binary candles are in the blue, positive basically. This is interesting, and it's above the 200 moving average. 200 moving average is a slight uptrend towards it. I like what I'm seeing on the 4-hour chart for BNB versus BTC. It's a nice, I like it. I like it. How about the 45-minute chart? How's that looking? 45-minute chart. Well, the 200 moving average also holding it. Support's looking good. ADX is starting to wane a little bit. I like it. I might see if the 45 holds above the 200 moving average today and tonight, and if it does, I'll definitely probably hop in there. BNB versus BTC, beautiful slow cruise. BNB versus USDT on the daily wasn't so hot, but BNB versus USDT 45-minute chart made a nice 45-minute 200 moving average bounce. Not looking too bad. Kind of slowing down a little bit. 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, kind of bursty. It's very volatile, up and down, up and down. So the 200 moving average looks like it's kind of holding support there. And the directional, the squeeze indicator is beginning to turn positive. Definitely, BNB versus USDT, not so positive on the daily, where BNB versus Bitcoin is positive on the daily chart. Still, this definitely could be a continuation. I like what I'm seeing. You could actually make a nice little channel right here if you wanted. I think so, and you can see where it's just beautiful. Needs to hold that 200 moving average. I think it's going to make a burst. It kind of looks kind of runny to me, to be honest. Like it's going to make a run. I'm not totally feeling safe until like it's above the 314 moving average, but it's definitely moving towards it. It looks good. I'm kind of excited about BNB. Versus BTC, versus USDT, but especially versus BTC. Cake versus USDT. I like what I'm seeing. Look at this wonderful coin. It's got this glorious upward channel that it's been in a while. Upward channel keeps bouncing off that 200 moving average. You can actually say it more like this. I think it kind of just kind of broke out of his channel and it's coming back to visit it. It might make the top of this channel its new floor. Let's see what happens. Some beautiful volume today, pretty heavy. Gosh, directional index looks great. So does the ADX, squeeze indicator, binary candles, everything looks good. Really pancake swap, cake basically. 4-hour chart looking just darn spiffy. I like what I'm seeing here. If I look at a 45-minute chart, it's above the 200 moving average too. This thing just cruises and cruises and cruises. So basically, we've kind of got higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and not quite a higher low, higher low, higher low. I think we're going to see, and higher high, higher high, higher high. You could say it was a higher low and it kind of blew it. A little bit shaky, but still, this is a 45-minute chart. I like what I'm seeing. Might play at your own risk, guys. I'm watching this one. I'm a little worried about it dropping back into the channel and bounce off that 200 again. So I'm going to be a little bit hesitant there. But if you see something you like in pancake swap there in cake, if you think it's going to find support on the top of this 200 moving average, it does. I'm sorry, on top of this channel it's been in, it does certainly look possible, but I'm not quite ready to commit to it yet. Anyway, guys, so I think my favorite one for the day really is HNT right now, HNT versus USDT. I like what I'm seeing there. Beautiful movement. It's bouncing where I would expect it to, and these indicators are kind of turning up. So HNT versus USDT is probably what I might hop into a little bit later. Anyway, guys, there you go. SNT looking good. Yes. No, not yet. Alpine. Yeah, Alpine versus USD continues to move up. Everything's a little bit shaky. Nothing's really kind of making big moves right now. My favorite thing that I like right now is HNT. So that might be my play for the day. Anyway, everybody, sorry to keep so long. Technical recession confirmed. Economy shrank 0.6 last quarter. Final GDP shows. So I was reading this article over at Forbes. I think we're in a recession, right? Are we not? This kind of breaks it down. Like, are we not? Are we not? Whatever. It's not really. It's kind of flaccid. It's almost like, I just honestly don't think the guy who was being asked the questions really wanted to answer the questions, this guy. So anyway, read it at your own risk. See what you think. It was a little bit wishy-washy as far as content, I thought, but basically, are we in a recession or not? Whatever. It's kind of tough because you'll say technical recession confirmed, but then the people that were quoted here that they were talking to are like, well, we're not exactly sure, but well, what else can they say? It all depends on what your interests are, who you work for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, one of the things that I think may have been hard in the market today, I really think, is also this: no evidence U.S. involved in Nord Stream pipeline attack because Pentagon says so. Yeah, right. Anyway, if you would like an incredible deep dive on this, if you are kind of like, if you get off on wisdom and knowledge and actually knowing for reals what's going on, Robert Barnes here is a constitutional lawyer rock star. Alex Christoforo and Alexander here are badasses, and they break down that and more. So I'll put it in the live chat. Check that if you want. I'm actually listening to this my second time today. This is pure 100% badass wisdom. If you'd like to understand the geopolitical situation of the Ukraine and the pipeline at this time, this is badass. I will not steal his thunder. If you want to know Robert Barnes, well, actually, no. Alex Christoforo broke it down in an earlier video where he was saying most likely they're going to have, they're going to find underwater pictures. NATO will analyze this and investigate it. They'll exclude Russia. The EU will say, we've got it. You did it. And it's going to be like, oh, look, we have these, this video of Putin with a snorkel riding a shark with this old World War II ship mine, cruising down and blowing up the pipeline. That's asinine to think that, but in a sense, this does create a great pretext to send troops to secure that region. More NATO troops, more American troops, possibly, because it's all about who can you blame this act of international terrorism on. If they can blame it on. The only thing is here's the deal: Africa, Asia, every country except for maybe some people in the EU who aren't very bright in those nations, and maybe people who don't pay attention in America, but the world's not going to believe it. And so really Robert Barnes in this video really does break it down where, and so does Alexander, where right now the world is very, very scared of a lawless America. And it really does matter because we're moving into a unipolar world right now. And I just think this is incredibly valuable if you want to be happy, healthy, and wise and thrive through the next couple of years. For heaven's sakes, listen to the Duran, listen to this one, especially if you dig knowledge. You know, ouch, German inflation hits double digits for the first time since World War II. September CPI accelerates to 10% from 7.9 in August. So look at this. Look at that consumer price index for 2020 and to, well, this year in 2020, 2022 to now. You know, look at that. How are those sanctions working out for you? And guess what? Someone just blew up your pipeline. Now, this is for 2022. So far, look at these best spot returns. Ruble versus USD, friggin' rocking, right? How about the British pound? Not so much. Turkish lira, not so much. British pound, oh, you know what I mean? We're cranking those interest rates. We're pumping the dollar. Really, the pound, I'm sure that some of the Bank of England people right now are kind of like, they're like, oh my gosh. Oh. They're like, thank heavens, the DXY is dumping a little bit because we're about to crash other countries' frigging currencies against the dollar. And that's not cool. So, what's his name? An old evil fart. Oh, I forget his name. Sorry, it'll come to me. But he said, Henry Kissinger. He said, and believe me, he would know about evil. And he said, America is a deadly. America. He said, America is a dangerous enemy, but a deadly friend. And I think if you watch this here, you're going to find that Germany is realizing that his words are pure prophecy. So with that said, the truth is out there. And thanks for being a Bitcoin truth seeker. Every Bitcoin Satoshi you own punches an evil globalist piece of shit right in the nuts. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So stack those sats.